In the case of the Middle East, if the president hears and understands very clearly, there cannot be peace, there cannot be normalization between Saudi Arabia or the other Gulf countries and Israel, except if there is a state of Palestine on the 4th of June, 1967 borders, that is the internationally legal borders. Then if he hears that and responds accurately to it, then all of the items that you mentioned of showing the independence, putting American strategic interests above what he's hearing from Netanyahu, would come to fruition. The president could actually bring peace to the Middle East. For the first time, really in a century, by the way, he can do that if he says, yes, I see the reality. There must be a state of Palestine alongside the state of Israel on the internationally recognized borders. The United States will lift the veto that Biden used in the UN Security Council to block Palestine's membership in the UN. The U.S. will accept Palestine as a UN member state. All UN member states come in on the condition that they are peace-seeking states, that Palestine would enter as the 194th UN member state. This could be done within days, basically. President Trump could say this during this trip. We would see history being made. If he follows the Netanyahu line, it's not going to happen.
Takeaway. The primary takeaway from this discussion is that President Trump has a unique opportunity to achieve a historic breakthrough in Middle East peace by recognizing Palestine as a UN member state on the 1967 borders. This action could unlock normalization with Arab nations and shift U.S. foreign policy toward peace, provided Trump acts decisively and resists pressures to align with Netanyahu's agenda. Trump's proactive approach to global diplomacy, as evidenced by his consideration of attending Russia-Ukraine peace talks, suggests he may be willing to take bold steps to prioritize peace over entrenched interests. Analysis. This discussion is pivotal as it outlines a concrete pathway for Middle East peace, centered on U.S. recognition of Palestine, which Sachs frames as both feasible and urgent. The proposal to lift the U.S. veto on Palestine's UN membership is grounded in international law and the Arab Peace Initiative, reflecting a pragmatic approach to resolving decades of conflict. Sachs' optimism is tempered by the need for Trump to hear and act on Arab leaders' demands, highlighting the importance of upcoming diplomatic engagements in Qatar, the Emirates, and Saudi Arabia. Napolitano's introduction of Trump's statement about possibly attending Russia-Ukraine talks in Turkey serves as a parallel example of Trump's willingness to engage directly in high-stakes diplomacy. This juxtaposition suggests that Trump's unconventional, hands-on style could be a strength in tackling the Middle East conflict, but it also raises questions about consistency, given his history of aligning with pro-Israel advisors, as noted later in the discussion. The discussion subtly underscores the tension between Trump's deal-making instincts and the entrenched U.S. foreign policy establishment, particularly its pro-Israel bias. Sachs' emphasis on speed, within days, reflects the urgency of capitalizing on Trump's early second term, before political pressures or neocon influences, e.g., advisors Rubio or Gorka, mentioned later, solidify. However, the discussion lacks exploration of potential obstacles, such as domestic political backlash in the U.S. or Israel's response to reduced U.S. support, which could complicate implementation. The absence of these counterpoints makes Sachs' vision compelling but somewhat idealistic, requiring further scrutiny of feasibility. Summary. In this discussion, Professor Sachs argues that President Trump could achieve historic Middle East peace by recognizing Palestine as a UN member state on the 1967 borders, a move that could be executed swiftly and would align with the Arab Peace Initiative's call for normalization with Israel. He suggests Trump lift the U.S. veto on Palestine's UN membership, enabling Palestine to join as the 194th member state, fostering peace with Arab nations. Napolitano reinforces this optimism by citing Trump's recent statement about potentially attending Russia-Ukraine peace talks in Turkey, illustrating Trump's proactive diplomatic approach. Sachs expresses hope that Trump will prioritize U.S. interests and peace over Netanyahu's influence, setting the stage for a transformative foreign policy shift. Conclusion. This discussion presents a hopeful yet ambitious vision for Middle East peace, with Trump positioned as a potential catalyst for resolving one of the world's most intractable conflicts. Sachs' proposal to recognize Palestine as a UN member state is a clear, actionable step that aligns with international consensus but requires bold leadership to overcome domestic and international resistance. Trump's expressed interest in direct diplomacy, as seen in his Turkey talks comment, suggests he may be open to such a move, but the success of this vision hinges on his ability to prioritize peace over the pressures of pro-Israel advisors and entrenched U.S. policies. This discussion sets a high-stakes tone for the conversation, framing Trump's early second term as a critical window for redefining U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East and beyond.